Judy Recher, Parkinson's, the designer disease. Parkinson's, the designer disease, Judy Recher.
Hello everyone. This skimpiness that you see tonight has nothing to do with Parkinson's. It's just to show you a little bit of what I look like when I'm flat, which you've never seen before. I watched him as he walked slowly past me in that crowded shopping center. He had a small bag of groceries in his hand. And then he stopped. And he stood still and looked at his feet. And I knew that he was waiting for his brain to make a connection to his feet so he could move forward. I know this because he and I are among the 80,000 Australians who have Parkinson's disease. In Australia, Parkinson's disease is the second most common neurodegenerative disease. And yet, large sections of the community and many health professionals do not know of the impact that this can have on the person who suffers the disease, on their carers, their families, society in general, and the economy of the nation as a whole. There is no known cause for Parkinson's disease. But every day, 30 more people are diagnosed. And this is increasing 17% in the last 6 years. 20% of those 80,000, 16,000 people, come from the age of the working people. And it's been estimated that the cost to the nation in terms of lost productivity, early retirement, social, medical cost, in 2011 and 2012 was $7.6 billion. And yet there's no diagnostic test for Parkinson's disease. What is it? Our brains produce a chemical called dopamine. And in Parkinson's, that dopamine is restricted. And when we don't get enough, our bodies slow down. And at times, they stop. And as I said, there's no diagnostic test for Parkinson's. But by the time a person has been diagnosed, 80% of those dopamine-producing cells in their brain are dead, never to come good again. And it is a progressive, debilitating, uncurable disease. So what are the symptoms of Parkinson's? It has been designed as a designer, it has been described as a designer disease because every single case is unique. My exercise guru in Brooklyn says that we have more than 600 muscles in our bodies. I want you to think about that. 80,000 people with Parkinson's disease, each of which has 600 muscles that can be affected by a lack of dopamine. The number of combinations is immense, impossible to imagine. No wonder there's no diagnostic test. So what are the key symptoms of Parkinson's? The one most people attribute to Parkinson's is a tremor, where you'll see someone walking along with a cane, or they're shaking uncontrollably, and they can't stop that. Medication can slow it down, can stop it a bit, but that's one of the most characteristic signs. Another is a lack of balance, which means falls. And in the elderly, those falls can result in broken hips and other bones. But a lot of young people also have Parkinson's. Another symptom is rigidity. When the medication wears out, In my case, it is an instantaneous drop in energy and ability and coordination. And when that medicine runs out, it feels like your legs and your arms are made of lead and you're walking so slowly. And this is what Jeanette saw when she picked me up tonight from the ferry. I was walking very slowly. But I got there. Another aspect of Parkinson's is that there are other parts of the brain that can be affected. And this can affect your memory, your ability to communicate, your ability to concentrate on intellectual things. So, how is life in the slow lane, as defined by Parkinson's? My mother had Parkinson's disease. There is no genetic tie that they know of, but my mother had Parkinson's disease. Therefore, in 2005, I suspected that I had it because I found that my right foot would sort of slap down when I walked. And my steps were quick and close together. And my right arm didn't swing. It stayed still when I walked. And I couldn't brush my teeth on the right side of my mouth. And also, I found that I had real difficulty in concentrating on things like writing speeches, doing my accounts, preparing lectures for my classes. All those signs. And the fact that Sentiment, which is a dopamine-type medication, reversed all my symptoms, confirmed the diagnosis for me. In the beginning, I was overwhelmed. I didn't want to know all the things that could happen to me. And I was so overwhelmed by the fact that my body had this potential to destroy, to undermine my self-esteem, my confidence, my relationships, my future. I didn't want to know all those things. There is no cure for Parkinson's, and progression is usually slow, and it consists of treating the symptoms as they arise. The worst thing about it is the on-off period. In the beginning, when it was first discovered, I could have a dose of medication, and 4 times a day, it would get me through the day, easily. In fact, if you ask my friends who know me, I would fly through the days. But then over time, the medication becomes less effective. And the time it takes for it to kick in after you've taken it becomes longer. And the time that it leaves you and you go into an off period becomes shorter. And recently I had a real scare because in my 3-hour cycle, I had maybe 30 minutes of on time. And the rest of the day was totally lacking in energy or any motivation or whatsoever. And I said to myself, is this how it's going to be from now on? But then consulting with my neurologist, a minor adjustment in my medication made all the difference in the world, and my energy came back, and it was so wonderful. I've been lucky in the 7 years since I was diagnosed. My symptoms really have not had much of an impact on my daily life. But it is really difficult to conceive of the difficulties that other people have with Parkinson's, where even the simplest task is impossible. Now, just to give you some idea, when I go to bed at night, I have to turn over several times because my hips will start to hurt and I can't stay lying on that side. And when I turn over, I often end up on my back. And my mouth gets very dry. And sorry to tell you this, but I have to literally pry my lips off my teeth because they are stuck. It's true. You think it feels funny? I bet it looks even funnier. Can you imagine when you have a bad set of tremors, like this, what it's like to try to use a mobile phone? You can't get it to your ear to listen. You can't talk in it. You certainly can't dial the number or even read the number. You can't do it when you have tremors with a mobile phone. My friend Ian the other day was swaying back and forth as he was talking to his wife. And she said, "Ian, what are you doing?" And he said, "I'm trying to figure out which one of you I should answer." It may be funny, but when you think about the fact that Parkinson's is affecting the muscles in his eyes, so he's seeing double, it's not. Most of us, or often many of us in Parkinson's, have trouble turning over a bed at night or getting out of bed at night, especially in the wintertime. But I have solved that problem with my satin sheets and my satin nightshirt. I slide from one side of the bed to the other every time I turn over, and I have to chase my pillow down the wall. It is so good. So what is life like with Parkinson's? On Dangar Island, you know I have an active lifestyle, and I attribute that to the slow progression of the disease so far, because I'm strong. Harry and I carry everything that we buy home by shopping trolley, up and down the 100 steps at the Brooklyn train station, and up the 49 steps to our house. And in addition to that, I go to an exercise class 3 times a week. And I can't show you right now because I can't expose it, but I can guarantee I have the best bicep of any 72-year-old woman you've ever seen. It is very big. Being stronger at this stage, my 5th assessment in the exercise class showed that I was stronger than when I started 2 years ago. And because Parkinson's is progressively debilitating, being stronger as time passed is really an asset. So there are challenges in my life, and there are 3 of main concern to me based on my symptoms. I have a fear of falling. My mother had Parkinson's for 12 years, and in that time, she fell 3 times. She broke her arm, she broke her collarbone, she broke her neck and had to wear a halo brace for 7 months drilled into her skull. What about, well, as far as freezing goes and falling, there are coping strategies you can follow. And Jeanette's very good on this because all I have to do, you've seen how I shuffle here, but now, big steps, big steps, big steps. And I went through the whole convention center on the weekend doing big steps and big steps because that was the only way I was going to get out of it. And I made it. So there are coping techniques you can use. I realized my teaching career was coming to an end when I found that I could not do a simple task of matching 4 evaluators to 4 speakers. And I stood by my desk and I yelled out, "I can't do this anymore!" And I knew I wasn't going to be able to continue teaching. And by the way, my medication was kicked in. It's in. I'm on. Woo-hoo! And the other thing that I worry about is communication. Those of you who know me, look how vital I am. Boy, how exciting. Those of you who know me know how much I love being up in front. When I was a little girl, I said to my mom, "Mommy, I wish my mouth went all the way around my head so I wouldn't get tired when I talked." Well, it doesn't, and I don't. But it's possible that I might lose the ability to communicate in the future. But let's put these fears into perspective. The one thing that I know is that those of us with Parkinson's, living with Parkinson's, are not alone. There are 6.3 million people in the world who have Parkinson's disease, and they have a wide network of support, of which Parkinson's New South Wales is just one aspect of it. Parkinson's New South Wales offers day-by-day care for people living with Parkinson's to help them cope every single day. They have an info line with professionals to answer questions anytime you need it. They have seminars, information, and they have counselors and support groups. When I think about my illness, I have to think of it as a blessing. I visualize it as a small red flag by my path, and my guides and angels saying to me, Judy, you aren't giving yourself enough time to do what's important. So we're going to give it to you. And as I said, it is a blessing. I could worry about my future. I don't. The worst case scenario is not going to be my scenario. Everything that I'm doing, it doesn't matter whether I have Parkinson's disease or whether some other debilitating illness knocks me over or somebody has to take care of every single thing I do. It doesn't matter. Like every single one of you, I can only live right now in this moment. And let me tell you, from where I'm standing, life looks pretty good. I was placed second in the division contest, international speech contest, years ago, in the speech called Growing Up. And in that speech I said, you cannot learn the lessons of life until you have lived them. Well, living with Parkinson's has taught me that we have a AAA life, Parkinson's people. We have awareness, in which we're aware of what our bodies will do and how they can react to treatment, awareness of the people that can help us, and awareness of just all those around us. We have adaptation, where we have to adjust to what comes to us because we never know what's going to come. And we have acceptance. I have Parkinson's disease, but I also have family, friends, support group, people who love me and who I love in return, and I have laughter and lots of love. So what more can I ask? What about you? Could you live a AAA life with Parkinson's disease, which may be yours someday? Could you adapt? Would you be aware? Just think about it. And I'm Toastmaster.